Hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome to the channel. Now you might recognize this as my 2001 Mercedes S-Class. I bought it for $2,000, it has over 200,000 miles, and we've done a bunch of work to it, including new air suspension, new air compressor, some work in the engine bay, and a brand new radio upgrade. But today we're going to be working on the headlights. And we're going to do that by replacing the high beams with LEDs with help from our sponsor, Bevinsee. They sent me these H7 LED bulbs, so I'll be walking through the process of the conversion, and we'll take a look at the differences between the pre-facelift headlights and the facelift headlights. And while I'm in there, I'll also replace the HID bulbs, which are starting to wear out. So let's get to it. Before we get started, let's take a look at the H7 LED bulbs Bevinsee sent to me to install in the high beams. They also come with a little manual, just some general information. And they do point out here you want to keep the LEDs themselves at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So essentially you want this here to be vertical. And that helps align the bulb and the reflector correctly in the headlight. So to get the best beam pattern. And there's also a tiny cooling fan in there too. That's cool. And you can see the cooling element in there. Looks like copper. Very nice. And also they say, don't touch the bulbs directly, and make sure everything's cooled off before you install them. Okay, now before we get started, let's take a look at what the headlight looks like out of the car. This is a spare I have, and you can see there's 3 main areas. So I believe this is out of a facelift car. It's pretty yellowed. I'll be restoring it at some point. But yes, so there's a couple areas we want to focus on. The outside here is going to be the low beam. High beam is going to be in here, and this is where the fog light would be. So we're really only concerned with these 2 parts. In this car, which is a pre-facelift, you'll see the housing is a little bit different. We have one cover that does both of these, and the cover here is a little bit different. But we'll take a look here because we'll be able to see how things mount. So to get the outer cover, pull that down, pop this off. And to get the inner one here, pop this up and out. Now right here, you may be able to see the sheathing on the wire is cracking a bit. And this is something that I've seen on other Mercedes of this generation. So if you see that your wire, like the shielding on the wire has flaked off, it may be worth putting a little piece of electrical tape on it to protect the copper wire inside and prevent it from shorting out. So for the high beam, we would want to just pull the light out. I believe it just wiggles out here. And then you'd unplug it. And you can see here, this shape allows us to orient it in different ways. We're going to want to put this upwards, and you can actually see that lines up with this flat piece right here. See there? So we're going to want to have it like this or like this. If by chance plug it in upside down and it doesn't turn on, we can flip it over. And then you just push it back in, and you can actually see there's a spring-loaded clip here that would let us just push in the new one. So what worked for me, now it's wedged in, is putting it, angling it up a little, and then pushing it in place. There we go. And then you put the cover back on. And now on the HID, turn, pull that out. It looks like this connector came undone as well. So this would connect in here. Oh shoot, this is what I'm talking about here. These wires, the outer sheath is getting all crumbly. Now if you end up in a situation where you see your wires, sheaths crumble like that, that is a great time to use a little bit of electrical tape. Slide this in between. This has happened on my C-Class too, in the same era, 2005. I guess we could even go between these 2 wires now. Just insulate them from each other. And then put another little piece right there. You don't need much, just enough so that they won't short out and cause problems. Now once this is off, turn this, pull that ring back, and then we have our bulb in here. And the bulb fits in on here, and it only fits in one way. You can see here the little cutout there and there, and that matches these little raised parts here and here. So that goes in. And again, if you're working with HIDs, don't touch them if you plan on using them. We'll put this on, and then this ring here has a couple of clips. It'll only slide on one way. I think that is going to be like this. Yeah, so it'll twist to the right here. Lock that in. This one came disconnected when I took it out, so make sure it's plugged back in. And then this will twist, pop on, and lock in. There we go. All right, now let's go take a look at the pre-facelift in the car. All right, before we swap these bulbs out, let's take a look at what they look like before. And on the high beams, all right, so right here, you can see the cover for the low beam. And in here, you can see the cover for the high beam. So I'm actually gonna start with the high beam here. So there's a little lever here, like a catch. So we're gonna pull this over and towards the engine. It can be a little tight, so watch out for that. And then you can kind of slide it this way and out, because it mounts with these two catches this way. And this is the tab we have to push on to release it, to release this catch here. Okay, so right here is the plug that connects the high beam. We can just pull that straight back, or you can wiggle it to unplug it. There we go. Move that back, and you can see there's two little metal clips that kind of grab the bulb. So we're gonna kind of squeeze it. See right here, it's popped out. You pull it in, and it releases. And that is our original bulb. As you can see on this one, you can see it has a little indent. This goes towards the top. And you can see down here, that's where these two go in. So this will hook on there. The same thing on the other side. Now for the replacement bulb, we want it to be vertical. And so we're gonna orient it so that either this or this is at the top. So this way or this way. Then when we test it, if it doesn't work one way, we'll flip it the other way. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is just bring this in. Let's see if I can. So we're gonna hold that. Bring in the retainer on one side. See it there? And bring in the retainer on the other side. That's nice and secure. Now we can plug it back in. There we go. All right. All right, let's put this panel back in. Align it, put the tabs in at the bottom. There we go. And that is the high beam done. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, very, very bright. Now, right now, while the low beams are on, it's a good time to point out that one of them's going bad. I think it's that one's turning blue. So we'll also be replacing the HID bulbs. But first, let's do the high beam on this side. All right, let's check out what these look like. So you can see it's a lot warmer than the new one. All right, so you can see on this side, it is a lot more cramped. We've got a couple motors for the windshield washer fluid. We got a coolant tank. I have small hands, so I might be able to reach in and do all that, but it's gonna be a little hard to see on the camera. I think one thing you could do is actually unplug these harnesses to get a little more room. We'll see if we need to do that. Let's see, let's get this out here. I'm gonna push on this tab here. Okay. Pull back, it's free. You might have to unplug this one here. Yeah, I think it needs a little more. So this right here, you can see on this connector right there, there's a little latch we could push on. Pull that up and over. Swing this out a little further, perfect. We could even leave it tucked in there. You can see this is the little release we had to push on. And these motors are the windshield washer or the headlight washers. So there's two. And right here, we've got the same connector. The mounting is the same as well. You can kind of see the metal retainer as well. So wiggle it out. Ow. See the retainers. Reach in, squeeze them in and back, and let them come back. And you can grab the bulb. There we go, right here. Grab our new bulb, same thing, we want it to be vertical. So we want this to be straight up and down. Okay, that is in. Now we can just connect it back up. We'll test it out. Looks good. Nice and bright. Now don't forget, you do have to turn the key in the ignition for the high beams to turn on. You can turn on the low beams with the key out of the ignition, but for the high beams, the key has to be on in the ignition. Okay, so now we can pop that cover back in. Slide that over. You can look down this way to see the two tabs. There we go. Snaps in. Good. You can swing this back around. Plug it back in. Boom. All right. Now we can move on to the low beams. So the driver's side is a little easier, so we're going to start here. You can see this cover here. It's the same principle as the high beam. You can just push this tab to release it. And then it comes out. And this also has two ears or tabs that slot in at the bottom. You can actually kind of see the opening right there. And there's another one on this side. Here and here. All right, so this is the HID connector, and it's twist off. So you would grab it, turn it a little bit counterclockwise. And you can see the little retainers here. And then our bulb is held in with this plastic ring in here. So we can grab this ring here, turn it counterclockwise. It's just a part of a turn. And it's like this. So you just turn it and it pops out. And this holds in the bulb. You can just grab it, pull it back, and there is our HID. If you have any intention of keeping this as a spare, do not touch the glass. You can see right here, this has a couple grooves in it, or like cutouts, and that orients the bulb with this towards the top, so it can only fit in one position. then these two little nubs right here are what the connector slots onto and grabs onto. It goes into here. Get your choice of replacement bulb. There's the same cutouts there. We'll pop that in carefully. Okay. Grab this. It's gonna go. Now, if you're not sure exactly how it goes, there's like two Torx heads in there. Let me see if I can show you. You can see there one of them. Yeah, you can see both of them. And then there's that white pin. So these two Torx heads are part of the retaining system, and that white pin there is also. So Torx heads go into these openings and you lock it in, and that white pin goes in here. Okay, that's in, and then we can put our connector back on, line it up, and turn. Actually, now we can probably watch this move up and down because this has the motorized projectors. So we'll see if we can see that move. There we go. That's cool. And that is it. So we can put our cover back on. Again, you want to make sure these go in the right spot. Okay. Now on this side is the same thing, except there's way less room. So the windshield washer fluid tank is in the way. And so I think, if we try to pop this cap off, we can, but let's see. Okay. So you can you? Nope. It's stuck. What that means is we have to loosen these. The other option is to remove the headlight completely, but that's kind of a pain because you have to maneuver it out of the bumper, and like this kind of gets in the way. But we can actually, if we move back a bit here, we can undo this nut, and that should allow us to move this over and out of the way, and then this out of the way as well. So let's work on that. Yep, that's 10. Okay, so this actually, we'll pop this hose out. It just slides back. Oops. Oh, no. Well, it's a good thing I have a parts car, because this just split. That's not good. All right. So if it's old and dry, just be careful. We're gonna lift this up off of here. Actually, they should both lift together, I think. And we can move them over just enough, I think. So we can pull this out right here. See, it's the same thing. So reach in, remove that. Ooh, something's wrong. The whole ring assembly has come off. Oh, I see. Try to get it loose in there. Yep, there we go. It's like the retaining ring wasn't on properly. There we go. You can actually kind of see, it looks like he's discolored on the band there. This was on his way out. And I think this ring wasn't actually installed properly. One of the screws that slots in here was just below the ring, so that's why the whole thing came out. Now we can get our new one. Slide that up. Careful not to bump it into anything. And when you're in, you can check, try to turn it left and right to make sure the those little guides are in place. They'll prevent it from turning. Get our retainer. Okay, I got it. Now we just have to pop the connector back on. Okay, that's on this in. Actually able to look down through here to see if the little hooks are in place. Now they are. Pull this back. Snapped in, so it's good. Move these back in place. Lift it up. Down. Let me see. Yes, there's a, okay. So down here, may be able to see. Oops, there's like there's grommets in there, and you want those to be aligned. So right there, and there's one further in there. So once those are aligned, these will drop into the right place. There we go, and we can put this nut back on. Snug it up. Everything feels good. Unless I should have tested it first, but let's see. Very nice. Looks good. That's the headlights done. Awesome. All right, so I've got a used part right here from the parts car. And if you haven't watched the channel before, I bought this car for $2,000. And then not too long later, I found one at a Copart for $400 that is in a little bit rough shape. And it was a great source of parts for this car. So check out that video. We've got a couple other projects to swap parts over from that car onto this in the future. So we're gonna line this up in the opening right here. The reason I think this failed is that this engine has 200,000 miles on it. So this plastic has gone through a fair number of cycles, heat cycles, and maybe that's why. Or it was yanked off wrong or something. So now we have a good cold air intake pipe, and we are good to get back on the road. Nice. So that wraps up our headlight service. The new LED high beams look great and really modernize the look compared to the old warm halogen bulbs. With the new HID bulbs, both sides are the same color again, which is also really nice. If you want to get LEDs to upgrade your headlights, be sure to check out Bevinsee because they have a ton of offerings for a bunch of cars and a bunch of headlight types. I'll leave links in the video description, and there's also a coupon down there for an extra discount. If this video helped you out, don't forget to leave a like, and if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.